Sold. Readers, there are a lot of factions that today's lesson could fall under. Some of them I've already talked about. Understanding, importance. But I've come to realize that sometimes some lessons need to be retaught in order to get a better understanding of it. As you can probably tell from what I was just watching, the game company Quantic Dream just announced a brand new title exclusively for the PS4 called Detroit: Become Human. Quantic Dream is ran by David Cage, who has written and directed mostly every single game that has come from this publisher. And the type of games that he makes are more cinematic, story, and narrative driven, kind of like Telltale games. Which makes me ask the question, how come people can't stand his ass? Not to say that I'm one of those people, which may come to a surprise to some of you. I actually enjoy David Cage's games. I loved Heavy Rain. I love Beyond Two Souls. I've only played bits and pieces of Indigo Prophecy. I haven't really finished it, but from what I've played of it, I liked. And mostly when it comes to video games, as far as I'm concerned, four things factor in whether or not I keep it and replay it. Because I don't replay a lot of video games that I own. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. 1, are the characters interesting? 2, is the story interesting? 3, are the controls easy for me to master? And 4, am I having fun? If I answer 3 to 4 of these questions with yeses, more than likely I'm going to not only keep this game, but I'm going to replay it constantly. I've done it with the 3 Dragon Age games, I've done it with Dante's Inferno, and I can definitely say that I've done the same thing with Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. So looking at this trailer, and not just being biased because it's based in a futuristic Detroit, I'm pretty excited for this. So how come it's popular to make fun of David Cage and his video games? Well, from the 3 video games that I previously mentioned, Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls, Let's Players on YouTube like to call it the Sadness Trilogy, in which case they justify this because from their point of view, all the characters are going through their own personal traumas and rarely crack a smile, I guess. Whereas that is a bit true from my experience playing these games. Popular YouTubers like to check off this in their box of whether or not the game is enjoyable. But from what I can tell, doing my own research, the only logical explanation as to why it's popular to make fun of David Cage, to a certain extent, is something that he said back in 2013 when he was promoting Beyond Two Souls. He said in an interview, "I've always felt that game over is a state of failure more for the game designer than from the player. And given the type of video games that he makes, that makes sense. But because the internet is the internet, a lot of people like to misconstrue what he said when he said it." Like I said before, he said that quote in an article on August 23rd, 2013. But the phrase didn't become popular as far as making fun of him until September 6, 2013, when the Let's Play channel Two Best Friends Play started their walkthrough of Indigo Prophecy, a game that wasn't released until September 16th, 2005, in which I look and I go, that's not fair. Because when he made Fahrenheit/Indigo Prophecy, he probably didn't develop that mindset yet. It probably wasn't until after he developed Heavy Rain, which was a game that did not have a game over slot, that if a character died and over the course of the story continued on. So once he started developing Beyond Two Souls, because of the video games that he knows that he makes, the ones that are more cinematic and more driven on narrative, it would make sense that for this type of video game, a game over screen isn't necessary. He even goes on to say, further on in the interview, it's like creating an artificial loop saying, you didn't play the game the way I wanted you to play, so now you're punished and you're going to come back and play it again until you do what I want you to do. In an action game, I can get that. Why not? It's about skills. But in a story-driven experience, it doesn't make any sense. And for the purpose of his video games, that makes sense. Him having that mentality makes sense. But of course, what he said before gets misconstrued and stretched out over the course of the internet to make it sound like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I know a lot of people take that side as far as David Cage not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. Newsflash to your readers. People say stupid shit all the time. You've probably said stupid shit over the course of your life. I've definitely said stupid shit over the course of my life. And no, this is not me saying what I said in my last video was stupid. I meant every single word. The fact that people are taking what he recently said as he grew as a game developer and applying it to his past work before he gained that idea is a bit ridiculous, even on a joking standard. It also makes no sense that people can hate Quantic Dream games and love Telltale games, besides the fact that the consumer has a preference. And I know what you're thinking. LaRon, you still didn't give a point for today's lesson. Is this even a today's lesson? Why am I even here? And that's the brilliant part, readers. I have no fucking clue. But yeah, you can just say that you don't really care for David Cage's game. That's a lot better for trying to condemn a man for his past work for something he came to the realization of something that he recently said. So if there was truly a moral to today's lesson, I would have to pull a page out of Will Wheaton's book. Don't be a dick. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of legitimate reasons for you not to like David Cage or to like games created by Quantic Dream. One of the things in the rumor mill was that he had a scrapbook of Ellen Page growing up when he was making Beyond Two Souls. That's definitely a reason not to like David Cage, because he comes off as a fucking creeper. But whether or not that's true or not is a different story. So yeah, your homework for today. Leave in the comment section below something that you like that people make fun of for no reason, based on mundane shit like dated quotes or things like that. It's not going to stop people from being dicks, but it'll make you feel better. Anyway, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed. What was that?